The children's folktale Cinderella was first published in the early 1600s, and since then the story has been rewritten several times. But what was the author's intent for this folktale? Cinderella's name means one whose attributes are unrecognized and one who's unexpectedly achieved success after a period of neglect. So out of all the different Cinderella movies, I narrowed it down to 3, which I thought were the most popular. Cinderella, A Cinderella Story, and Another Cinderella Story. The most popular Cinderella movie is the cartoon Disney one, made in 1950. In this version, Cinderella's evil stepmother treats Cinderella like a servant while praising her other 2 daughters, Anastasia and Drizella. Meanwhile, the prince is looking for a bride. The king throws a ball and invites every maiden woman, hoping to find the perfect woman for his son. Cinderella gets help from her mice friends, Gus and Jack, to make her a dress for the ball. The evil stepsisters immediately tear up the dress, but that's when the fairy godmother comes in and fixes up Cinderella. She's given until midnight until she has to be back home. She meets the prince but realizes that it's almost midnight and has to leave before the magic runs out. As she's leaving, she accidentally leaves her glass slipper behind on the stairs. The prince finds it and demands to find who it belongs to. The stepsisters try and persuade the prince to believe that it's their shoe, but just like every fairy tale ending, they find their way together. In 2004, a non-animated Cinderella movie was made, A Cinderella Story, starring Hilary Duff and Chad Michael Murray. Cinderella, or Sam in this version, lives with her stepmother Fiona and 2 stepsisters, Brianna and Gabriella. Sam is a high school student and works at a diner her father used to own in order to save money for her dream college, Princeton. Sam isn't popular at school and often gets called Diner Girl by the popular kids, but then she unknowingly becomes pen pals with the prince, aka Austin Ames, who also wants to attend Princeton. Austin tells Sam to meet him at the school dance, but of course Fiona forces Sam to stay home and do chores while her stepsisters go to the dance. Rhonda, a motherly figure in Sam's life, tells her to disobey Fiona and go to the dance, but be back at the diner at midnight. So she finds Sam a mask and gives her her old wedding dress and sends her off to the dance. Sam finally meets her prince, but finds out it's Austin, and knows their love will never work because of the 2 different worlds they live in. Sam and Austin go outside and dance, but Sam realizes the time and runs off to the diner, not realizing she dropped her phone. Austin finds the phone and goes on a search to find a Cinderella. Since he's the most popular guy in school and the captain of the football team, every girl was lined up to fit his criteria he had, including the evil stepsisters. Sam admits it was her phone and ended up falling in love and going to Princeton together. Then, in 2008, another Cinderella story came out, starring Selena Gomez and Drew Seeley. Cinderella, or Mary in this film, is a high school student trying to become a dancer. She lives with her stepmother, Dominique, and her 2 stepsisters, Britt and Bree. The prince, aka Joey, is a famous celebrity who is returning to the high school for his senior year. Dominique forbids Mary to go to the masquerade ball and clean the whole house instead. Mary's friend hires people to clean the house for her so that they could both go to the ball. Mary and Joey start talking at the refreshment table, and Mary gives Joey her Zune to play music. Joey and Mary share a dance together, but she realizes it's almost midnight and she has to get back to the house before Dominique finds out she went to the ball. On the way out, Mary dropped her Zune. Joey found the Zune and demands to find out who it belongs to. During their lunch at school, he asks what the most recent songs are played on the Zune to find out who it belongs to. After some struggles, Joey finds out it belongs to Mary and they fall in love. Now, which Cinderella do I think interprets the author's intent the best? I would have to go with A Cinderella Story by Hilary Duff. A Cinderella Story still follows the original meaning of the name Cinderella while keeping it realistic. For example, Sam works at the diner trying to make money to pay for college. She lives in a nice, realistic house and falls in love with the captain of the football team, while on the other hand, the 1950 version of Cinderella is made for more younger kids whose minds are still developing and innocent. And the 2008 version with Selena Gomez is about a famous person who comes back to high school for a year.
Created using Powtoon.